Mikuru Asakura is gonna have a match with Kleber, right? How do you see that?
Yeah, that's right. I guess he just can't end things with a loss. I think Asakura's motivation is probably higher. I think it's amazing that he can beat a pure boxer with his martial arts sense. I think he's working hard, but I also think he shouldn't take unnecessary punches. Also, I think it's probably easy for him to gather a crowd, which is kind of strange. I guess everyone is just a little bit short of something, like there's something missing here. There were about 30 huge guys, all wearing hoodies, and I was like, what kind of gang is this? I thought it was a bit much, but honestly, I was kind of scared to be at home myself. Yeah, you. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was actually worried that fans might attack or something. Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask about, but for the first time in a while, I thought it was interesting.
Recently, yeah.
I definitely want to try that. Background music and Nick are the same, right? Makeup too, right? Somehow when people beat me, they go on a 10-win streak or something. It's like a crossroads. Everyone seems to take my luck with them.
Oh, I see. Hi, please go ahead. Thank you very much. Welcome to Kakuto Cast. I'm Shin. Today I'm collaborating with a very special guest. It's Gomi-san. Thank you for being here. I've watched a lot of your matches, Gomi-san, and I've seen this view on YouTube a lot too. So honestly, all I can say is I'm really happy. Thank you so much for coming all this way. No, thank you. I actually looked up your fight record on Wikipedia, Gomi-san, and I was really surprised to see that your debut match opponent was the Representative Tsuruya. Representative Tsuruya has also collaborated with us quite a bit. That's amazing. Wow, so you had a match with him.
Yeah, I made my debut. I haven't talked about it much, but that was the toughest one for me.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, back then, Tsuruya-san was how should I put it, kind of an outlaw, or maybe a dark horse. Oh, really? Yeah, how should I say this? He wasn't really in the spotlight, not shady or anything, but he was more like a hidden powerhouse. Right. He'd suddenly show up and even draw with ranked players. Yeah, he had top-class skills, but he wasn't really well known. Well, how should I put it? It was kind of like he came from another sport, or like he was trying something new. Yeah, maybe it felt like that. And since he was also competing in the middleweight class, I wondered why his debut match was against Tsuruya-san. Yeah, it was tough. That was the toughest. Yeah, it felt really long. Tsuruya-san was big, too.
What weight class was it?
Back then it was welterweight. Now it would be considered light. Oh, but at the time it was welterweight. I remember being really nervous. It was my debut match at Korakuen Hall, so yeah. But even now, when I see him, I still greet him politely. It always happens. Is this okay? I think it's all good, though. It's amazing, isn't it? He's trained so many different fighters. Yeah. I often think that my life has been quite different since then, and I reflect on that a lot.
By the way, what made Gomi-san start martial arts? What was the reason?
Well, I played baseball in junior high, yeah, as part of a club. After I retired from the club, I should put it on. Come here. Some people say it's hard to listen.
How old is it?
He's 6 years old. Yeah. All right. Okay, after I retired from the club during the day, in the evening, there was a special on television about the Rookie of the Year in boxing. I watched it. The winner was asked how the weight cut was, and he said it was no problem at all. I thought, wow, this guy is amazing. When I compared myself to him, I realized I was being lazy and pathetic. So I thought I wanted to try living in such a tough world. Yeah. When I was playing baseball, honestly, I wanted to join the Dodgers back then.
Yeah, really. You were interested in baseball too. Did you play it seriously?
I was working so hard at it that I probably wouldn't have done that much, even in martial arts. Oh, I see. I was a pitcher. Yeah. I ran 5 kilometers in the morning and 5 kilometers in the evening, then went home and did weight training. I think that was probably a good thing. Yeah, yeah. Well, I always liked being active. I liked training. Yeah.
But you shifted from baseball to boxing, yeah? Well, I guess you just started focusing more on boxing. Yeah. Why didn't you become a boxer?
At that time, fighters like Tatsuyoshi and probably Hatakeyama were getting a lot of attention. Yeah, they were setting winning streak records, and so boxing was really booming when I was a first-year high school student. Yeah, yeah. There were Tatsuyoshi and Yakushiji when I was first year of high school, and from there, mixed martial arts started. Yeah. While I was going to the boxing gym, I gradually got interested in different things, and even my older brother started wrestling. Then I got to know Kaguchi Dojo through a combat wrestling match, and that got me interested in wrestling too. Yeah, I started skipping the boxing gym and doing wrestling and other things. Then I thought I'd try boxing again and went back, but my body had gotten really heavy by then. Yeah.
So, it seems like you naturally ended up going into mixed martial arts. But Gomi-san, when you were fighting in mixed martial arts, I personally think your biggest weapon was your punches. Do you think starting with boxing had a big influence on your fighting style in mixed martial arts?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm not really sure.
So, you shifted from boxing to mixed martial arts. You had a few amateur fights and then made your debut. Was your amateur period pretty short?
No, I competed in judo matches in high school and also did some wrestling as an adult. Around 18, I started doing both wrestling and at the same time joining K's Factory, organized by Shuto. I trained under Rumina-san for about 2 years at my own pace. Shuto was really booming back then. I feel a bit bad for boxing, but the Ultimate Fighting Championship had just started, you know. It was amazing. They say boxing's popularity dropped in America around that time. Well, that's not really related. But I wanted to try different things, and Shuto was getting pretty popular then. That's true.
Yeah, I might be saying something rude, but for everyone dreaming of mixed martial arts now, it's a world that's kind of hard to imagine.
Well, for example, Norika Fujiwara, Kyoko Hasegawa, and Masashi Tashiro were all there, sitting ringside at Korakuen Hall. It was really glamorous. And Rumina-san was the main event, and the place was packed. Wow. Rumina-san had that much star power, you could say, creating a boom in magazines and everywhere. And then Rumina-san would fight top Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighters, which was pretty unknown territory back then. I guess I just admired people who were purely strong, even if it was reckless. People who take on those kinds of challenges are really amazing. At the Shudo gym, there were new members joining all the time, to the point where you could barely practice. There was hardly any space left for ground techniques. Yeah, that's how it was. How should I put it? Well, you could say it was like Naoya Inoue now. Yeah, right. Taking on incredible, unknown challenges overseas. That's what it felt like. There were a lot of young people who admired those kinds of people. Yeah, so...
Sato Rumina-san really helped boost Shuto, or rather, mixed martial arts.
Yeah, that's right. He was really cool. Yeah. Well, he's still cool even now. I see. I guess you couldn't help but admire this person. Or rather, in the end, I felt like I had to challenge him. Or surpass him. Yeah. That's right.
From my debut match, he was already in the back of my mind.
No, it wasn't like that. Yeah. When I fought against ranked fighters, I really thought that Rumina-san's world was amazing. Yeah, like the fighters who were ranked in Shudo. Yeah, that's what I felt. I thought it was an incredible world, even though there weren't that many people yet. The Shudo ranked fighters, I mean.
Yeah, I saw this in some YouTube documentary. I don't know if it's actually true. They said that Gomi-san wasn't really popular that much, especially in the early days after his debut. Is that true? Who do you mean didn't like me? I guess it was the audience or the fighting style. I'm not really sure, but I heard it somewhere.
Well, Rumina-san and Mak-san were just so charismatic that people didn't really pay attention to the other fighters. Also, it's not like my parents were really passionate about supporting me or anything. So I think I was fighting with the mindset of, even if just one person remembers me, that's enough. I was doing it with the feeling of, just watch me.
From your perspective, did you feel like an outsider? Or maybe it was more like a one against everyone kind of feeling?
Well, I'm not like the current Hiramoto-kun, but sometimes, I kind of understand his character and the way he acts. I see. Well, yeah. I wasn't that quirky, or I guess I was. Yeah, so anyway, wait, sorry, I got off track. Anyway, of course, I was also at the official Shudo gym, the same gym as Rumina-san, but his aura was just completely different back then. Yeah, well...
You ended up fighting each other, right? Yeah. Wasn't there a lot of hype before that match?
Gradually, the pride boom was starting, and honestly, I'm really grateful to Rumina-san for this, but he never ran away. He always accepted challenges from his juniors. He was always fierce, too. I really appreciate that about him. Or rather, I felt like even if I'm not popular with the media, I had to find a way to make a living as a fighter. Yeah, I felt like I had to surpass him somehow. Yeah, that's right, and it's true, Even my friends who came to support me said the atmosphere at the venue was scary, or that it was hard to even stay. Yeah. They told me when you went home, it was like a funeral. And back then, even after the match, it wasn't like now with social media, but I was scared to be at home. Yeah, that's right. You mean you, Gomi-san? No, I mean the fans. He was so charismatic that people wondered if the fans might come after him or something.
Yeah, so did you not feel like you were in enemy territory at all, Gomi-san?
No, I definitely felt it. Yeah, at NK Hall, it was almost all Rumina-san's fans. You could say it was like how Asakura is now like, well, I'm the one bringing in the audience. I see. Yeah, but I just trusted in the training I did with Coach Kiguchi and went for it.
Looking just at your record, Gomi-san, surprisingly, from your debut, well, maybe after about 10 fights or so, you actually didn't have that many knockout wins. But then, starting from the Pride season, you started getting knockouts one after another. What changed for you? What was the switch there?
Well, you see, and I'm not making excuses here, but back then in Shuto, there were downs. Yeah. Even though it was mixed martial arts, maybe because they developed fighters from the amateur level, they wanted to make a clear distinction between striking, grappling, and ground techniques. Or maybe it was because it made things easier to watch, more like boxing. I guess that's how it was. Because now, in mixed martial arts, there's no such thing as a down, right? If we hit even a bit, the fight just stops. Yeah. So back then, I used to score downs all the time. So does that mean...
If you scored a down, would it become a 10-8?
Yeah, I think so. Shudo had rules kind of similar to Daido Juku and things like that. I guess I see. It was probably easier for the audience to follow, and it was more about sticking to the basics. Basically, there weren't things like soccer kicks. Yeah, right.
Oh, I see. Rather than making excuses, that's just how it is, right? Yeah. So is it okay to get knocked down multiple times? There's no rule like a knockout after 3 knockdowns, right? I think it was about 3 times, right? So after 3 knockdowns, it would be a knockout. I see. That kind of rule is hard to imagine in today's mixed martial arts era, like with epilepsy and things like that. Yeah, I see. That's how it was. Well, that's how it goes. Also, I don't know if Gomi-san drinks protein or not, but Maida-san, who supports this channel, makes some really delicious stuff. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think even dogs might end up eating it. Yeah. It happened once, right? Was it a cat? Cats just ate it. Is it okay? Do you have any matches that left a strong impression on you? Do you mean in Shuto? In whole your career, yes.
In my career, let's see, well, the fight with BJ Penn stands out, and, it was about 20 years ago, so usually the day after drinking, it was like, how much did I pay yesterday? Or, who paid? That's the kind of world it was, so I don't really remember things from 20 years ago very well. I'm like, did I pay yesterday? When I sleep, I forget, you know? Yeah. Let's do our best. All right.
I really love BJ Penn, so I went all the way to Hawaii for his fight. I attended BJ Penn's event.
It was during a Shudo title match. I didn't let my guard down, but I kind of lost motivation and ended up losing. Yeah, I think I was on a 14-fight winning streak at the time, and I kind of forced myself into that title match. Because of that, the people who had been supporting me were actually pretty disappointed. Losing really does that. They wondered if I'd gotten complacent. It's not like people left me, but they said if you're really not motivated, it's tough for everyone to keep supporting you. That's when I got approached about something. Yeah, it was like, should I try again or should I take on another reckless challenge, and did everything I could at that point. I really felt how amazing the world is. Yeah. After that, they announced the Pride middleweight division, so I thought, if I'm going to start over, I might as well give it another shot.
Yeah, I guess you could say that was kind of an unexpected turning point for you.
Yeah, I don't really know why, but BJ also struggled with pulver, and in America he kept hitting walls over and over. For some reason, when someone beats me, they go on a 10-fight winning streak or something. It's like a crossroads. Nick was like that too, right? Nate as well. Everyone seems to take my luck with them. I came in on about a 10-fight winning streak, and it always ends up like that. After that, BJ even won the middleweight title, right? He became a 2-division champion.
It was the lightweight and welterweight titles, right? He won them both. Yeah. I wonder what that's all about, but it's fine. Yeah. That fight with Nick Diaz was amazing too. If I remember right, that was in America at Pride.
Yeah, that's right. It was already toward the end, and honestly, my motivation had dropped a lot. Yeah, you know, the expectations from people around me and how I actually felt just didn't really match up. That was already my 10th or so fight, right? Yeah.
So, what was your main motivation when you, Gumi-san, first started mixed martial arts?
My main motivation, honestly, even back in my Shudo days, was the Ultimate Fighting Championship. That was #1 for me. Yeah. But then there was a martial arts boom in Japan, and I got invited to participate. In Pride, especially in the heavyweight division, a lot of Ultimate Fighting Championship champions were coming over, right? Because of that, there was even talk that Pride was above the Ultimate Fighting Championship. But in reality, it was different, you know. Yeah, it was the Ultimate Fighting Championship. That was the era. So I worked really hard on my wrestling too. Yeah. So the toughest training I ever did, or when I was really just giving it my all, was probably right before I turned pro in Shuto. At Kiguchi Dojo. Of course, the boxing gym was tough too. Yeah, there were all kinds of wrestlers who were working adults. Even Sasamoto, who went to the Olympics, would come train after school. And there were former Shuto champions too. When I was in high school, I used to train one-on-one with a former Shuto middleweight champion. Or rather, I was made to train with him. One time, I went to Kiguchi Dojo on my scooter, saw Coach's car parked there, and turned around and went home. I was going to be alone today, so I started heading back, but then I thought, if I don't go, I'm not a man, so I turned around and went back. It was really tough, but interesting too.
Yeah, right. Nowadays, Gomi-san's training is pretty famous, isn't it? A lot of fighters come here for lessons.
Yeah.
Does that mean Gomi-san's method, your method, was born from that?
I don't really let even pro fighters do sparring that much. For example, there are support exercises or assistance that even pro fighters can't do with each other. Of course, everyone spars with other top fighters or works with specialized trainers and does all sorts of things, but there are also martial arts specific trainings you can do without equipment, or things like not giving up when it gets tough. Those kinds of things Kiguchi sensei would have us do every single week. Yeah, and he made it really fun and interesting too, like doing 300 burpee jumps. Yeah, that's how it goes, right? When you say, no way, are you serious? He'd say, well, it's up to you whether you do it or not. Try doing as much as you can. So we end up taking on the challenge. Yeah, no matter what kind of pro fighter came, he'd say, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. Just like that. How should I put it? I was teaching an amateur kid the other day, and basically, once you become a pro, you start to neglect the basics, like physical conditioning and warming up. Little by little. Yeah. When top fighters spar, they just jump right in and think, if this guy can do it, then I can too. And it becomes that kind of world. But in reality, there's also an element of feeling each other out in sparring, right? You go all out, but with people watching, I think there are parts you can't fully show. Plus, you're afraid of getting injured, especially if you go too hard before a match. People say that's old school or just about guts, like in the Showa era, or that it's just a mentality thing, but it's the same as what everyone does in wrestling or club activities. It's just normal. But if you don't know how to train properly, you end up doing too much practical training, and that leads to injuries. Even now, I sometimes join the younger guys and do the same kind of training with Kiguchi sensei. Yeah. When I think back to how I felt at the time, it wasn't like I thought, if I do this one-on-one with Kiguchi sensei, I'll become a champion. It was more like, if I do this much, I started to feel like it would be a waste if I didn't become a champion after all this. Or like, if I don't do anything, then what's the point? Yeah, that's about how it was. It feels like no one is working as hard as I am. It's just like that. So it gave you confidence? Yeah, that's right. My coach also said, your opponent hasn't done this. So it was kind of like that.
I see. Well, in those days, how should I put it? Scientific training was pretty popular, but I still think Gomi-san's style was really important too.
Weights are weights, you know? And mat work is mat work, and sometimes you have people sit on you to support, right? Yeah. So that's what I say. If you add one more person, it's 3 Shaidaloev. I mean, I haven't really watched the training, but if you do 10 sets of this, I tell them, you could become the Ultimate Fighting Championship champion. So instead of spending years doing roundabout training, it's better to do the kind of training that actually makes you stronger in a short time. That's what I teach. Yeah, that's the idea. I'm not telling them to do anything crazy. It's not like I'm having 5 or 6 people sit on them. But there are actually top wrestlers and people like that who do this kind of thing. Yeah. So I tell them to study those kinds of training methods, whether it's on YouTube or wherever. That's what I say, yeah. Like Mayweather's. For example, when a beginner comes in and says, teach me everything, kicks, punches, all of it, I tell them, even Mayweather still practices his jab. Yeah, that's how it is. Well, part of it is that teaching everything is a hassle, but I also say, there are people who make hundreds of millions just with their left jab. Yeah, that's what I tell them. So I just have them practice the jab over and over.
Well, it's actually surprising how something so simple can be so valuable. It's not about making things complicated or doing this and that. Yeah. Why are we even talking about this? Oh, it's about training styles, right? Training. Do you do that every day?
No, just a few times a week, 2 or 3 times. If you do really intense training 2 or 3 times, you'll win Ultimate Fighting Championship. Oh, I see. That makes sense, yeah. It depends on your condition. And for example, I think the pros who come here usually do all sorts of things. They do sparring, weight training, and so on, but when you actually get on the mat and have someone's body weight or resistance on you, it's totally different, isn't it? Yeah. But with barbells and things like that, no matter how heavy you squat, the weight is only focused on one point. Yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah, it's a bit more practical.
That's right. While watching their complexion and seeing if they're getting tired, I add even more load. I push them right to the limit like that. Yeah, just to the edge without causing overwork. Yeah, just over the line.
Overwork, after all, do you believe in it?
Yeah, so rather than overwork, I think it's more like before a match during sparring, your nerves get worn out or you worry about injuries. In that case, it's better for you to do basic training because it builds your confidence. I think it's okay to have days when you can't really focus on sparring, so you decide to push yourself with training instead.
Yes, a lot of fighters come to train with Gomi-san. Even just on YouTube, there are quite a few members. Tenshin Nasukawa, Kai Asakura, Uruka, all of them.
It's not that they're coming because they're curious about something scary, but regular members don't do things like that. That's really just for fighters. Yeah. That's more like a joke, a gag. Yeah, a gag.
Among the athletes you've coached so far, has there been anyone you thought was amazing or who really stood out as an athlete? Yes, that's right.
Well, definitely Tenshin-kun and Kai-kun. Of course, Tenshin is amazing at karate and kickboxing. And whatever they do, I feel like these kids will end up at the top. How should I put it? It's like their core strength or their athletic ability. I really feel it. So I even joked with Tenshin, like, hey, you should try mixed martial arts seriously too. He just laughed and said, yeah, I'm suited for it. That's the kind of thing that's interesting about him. Yeah, I think their athletic ability and things like that are definitely top class, no matter what sport it is.
Yeah, that's true. About Tenshin Nasukawa has switched to boxing now, right? Have you watched any of his boxing matches?
Yeah, that's right. Since he used to do kickboxing, his physical strength, stamina, and martial arts sense are really impressive. And he's actually beating boxers who have only focused on boxing, so I think that's amazing. But still, I think it's better not to take unnecessary punches. Yeah.
Lately, he seems to want to show more exciting fights and wants to get knockouts. Even though it's not really necessary, he sometimes stands his ground and throws punches.
That's happening more often now. Well, it's because he has a strong competitive spirit. Yeah, that's true. That's one of his good points. It's a good thing, but it's also a bit scary. Yeah, he always gets fired up, doesn't he? Yeah.
As the fight goes into the later rounds? Yeah. What do you think? Do you think it's better to just focus on winning simply? What's your opinion?
Well, I'm not sure, but how should I put it? I think he doesn't like it when things end in a draw or something unexpected like that. And as a fighter, I think he wants to go all out in the later rounds, like in the 8th, 9th, or 10th. Instead of just moving around and letting the fight end, he wants to finish strong. I think that's just Tenshin's natural instinct as a fighter. Yeah. Do you think it's important to win by knockout? Yeah, I think it's the most convincing way to win. And honestly, if you can finish your opponent early, you should. People who watch martial arts aren't that patient. So, if you're a pro, you should finish the fight when you have the chance. I feel like that's better. And honestly, I wonder about those tune-up matches. I don't really want to watch those kinds of fights again. Yeah, that's how I feel. I get it. In that sense, as a pro, I wonder which is better.
Yeah, the winning is important, but putting on an exciting fight, a memorable fight is important too. So, with that in mind, what do you think about Take's fighting style, Gomi-san, that kind of fight style?
Takei has that sharp snap, you know. Yeah, and he's got reach too. What I thought was, I saw him knock someone down once, kind of like Roy Jones Jr. He just dropped him with a snap. I think that kind of decisiveness is good, but if I had to choose, I think Nakatani is more interesting. I like Junto Nakatani. Oh, that's interesting. Is it about his fighting style? Yeah, and Nakatani's gym is really close by, too. Oh, that's right. There are some really amazing boxers gathering there. I guess he spends half of his training time in America, but yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, yeah. Right now, the match between Naoya Inoue and Junto Nakatani has almost been finalized. They'll be fighting in May next year.
Next year? Yeah, that's right. I really want to see it in person somehow.
Yeah, are you not really thinking about who has the advantage? Ah, that's a tough question. Well, I wonder about that myself. I guess that's how it is. Are you actually watching more boxing than mixed martial arts these days?
Oh, that's right. Yes. Nakatani is young and has a lot of momentum. Yes, and it's amazing how Inoue is going to face him. I don't think we'll get to see something like this very often in the future. Yeah. But what I really think is amazing, tension is the same way, but announcing your future schedule in boxing and still performing is really impressive. I guess that's what it means to be a true professional. Yes, yeah. It's really impressive. They're not even considering failure anymore.
Yeah, well, to put it bluntly, it's like they're only fighting opponents they know they can definitely beat.
That's also part of it. Yeah, well, which one, you know?
One of them already has their next fight lined up. For example, Inoue has a match against Akhmadaliev in September, who's actually pretty strong. And he's already thinking about the next fight in December and even into next year.
That's really impressive, yeah. I think that's what being a pro is all about.
That's true. You don't really hear about that much in mixed martial arts.
Amazing. I think what's really impressive about Inoue is how he always prepares perfectly. You know, if I could really get down to the 50-kilo range, yeah, I'd want to try fighting Inoue too. I mean, if even boxers can't beat him, I don't have anything to lose, right? Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah, Gomi-san, are you still training a lot? Yeah.
Recently? Yeah, right. Actually, there was something I wanted to ask you. Yeah, you know, something I found interesting for the first time in a while was the Ultimate Fighting Championship at the White House.
Oh, recently. Yeah, yeah.
That was next year, too, so I definitely want to try that. Yeah, definitely.
The White House Ultimate Fighting Championship is amazing.
Yeah, I kind of want to compete again after a long time. I want to take on the challenge. Well, it might be tough, but how should I put it? Lately, I only do mixed martial arts in training, so since it's next year, I have plenty of time. Yeah. That's amazing. Ultimate Fighting Championship. Yeah, wow, yeah. Oh, your last match was also RIZIN, wasn't it? Was that Tension maybe?
Oh, yeah, the exhibition one.
Yeah, there was a weight difference too, and it was before Tension really started boxing seriously. Honestly, I was thinking, if it's like this, just do it today already, you know, with Takeru-kun too. Yeah, I was thinking, just hurry up and do it.
Yeah, it took about 5 years, right? Because it took 5 years, the hype was incredible, but lately I've been thinking, what would have happened to the kickboxing scene if they'd done it earlier? We waited 5 years, and that one event was really exciting and got a lot of attention, but it's also true that the kickboxing scene has kind of declined since then. If you think about it, there was a time when Tenshin and Takeru were probably the most talked about fighters, two kickboxers, yeah. So in a way, I feel like it was kind of a missed opportunity for the kickboxing world.
Well, you know, I remember watching when a lot of heavyweight fighters were coming in about 20 years ago. So I was watching these two and thinking they're really creating the same kind of excitement with just the two of them. Yeah. Yeah. I thought it must be tough. Really tough. What I'm about to say is off the record. You got a lot. Yes, there really are. For me, you know, that's just how it is.
So, with that in mind, how do you see today's RIZIN in terms of how they promote their events? Excuse, can I say something? Aren't you cold?
Sorry about that. Well, let's see. Hold on a second. Yeah, unlike the UFC and all that, not every match is super serious, right? Yeah, unlike boxing and stuff, they also mix in some entertainment.
Yeah, is there a big difference between Pride and RIZIN now? Like, between Pride when you were active Gomi-san and today's RIZIN?
Yeah, that's right. Back in my time, it was mainly focused on the heavyweight division, right? And anything like 70 kilos was considered a lighter weight class. Yeah. So to see just the lighter weight classes fighting on such a big stage now, I think that's really impressive in its own way. Yeah.
How should I look at it, I wonder? Both Pride and RIZIN were really exciting, and RIZIN is still exciting now. I feel like there are definitely some similarities between the two. Both of them had Sakakibara, the chief executive officer, at the helm, right? People often say that RIZIN now is very entertainment focused, but Pride also had that kind of aspect, didn't it? Yeah.
Like entertainment matches.
Yeah. So personally, I don't really think that martial arts right now is heading in such a bad direction. Yeah. So, Gomi-san, how do you see the current state of the martial arts world? Sorry if that's a bit of a broad question.
Well, I wonder about that. If every match was like Nakata's or Inoue's, the audience would get tense. Yeah, with all kinds of fighters coming out, yeah. And if the main event wraps things up, then that's just how the world is, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's just how things are set up.
It's often said that being able to draw a crowd is what's right. Yeah, so in the end, not many fans, especially of Japanese martial arts, mixed martial arts, are really interested in who's actually the strongest.
Yeah, that's right. Everyone just has to be a bit more, I guess, like if they could just beat those strong foreign fighters, they always get stopped right at the crucial moment. Yeah, it's always just a little bit more, you know. Probably, yeah, just not quite enough to really draw people in with pure skill. That's what I think anyway.
Yeah, I see. So what's missing there?
Well, I guess it's my training, right? I don't really know. I mean, I want everyone to get better, you know. I think that's probably what it is. Yeah, but it gets tough for me too, right? Everyone probably feels something different. Yeah, I think it's just that little bit more that we're missing. Yeah, that's where guys like Satoshi, Kleber, and fighters from the Middle East come in.
Yeah, that's right.
They come to stop them at some point, so I think it's just a little bit more.
Many people are now challenging the UFC with an increasing number of Japanese fighters. I guess Tatsuya Taira has the longest career among this new generation. Kai Asakura, Reikun, and Rinya are also in the UFC. A lot of people are starting to join. Gomi-san, what are your thoughts on Japanese fighters succeeding in the UFC?
Yeah. No, I think it's great. More than anything, it's White House. He's obsessed with White House. I feel like if I did it myself, it'd be faster. I want to try it, you know? Yeah, when I was in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, that was actually the worst period in my career in terms of results. So I wonder why that was. There's a bit of emptiness that comes with that too. Yeah, is it pretty tough to fight overseas? Yeah, it is. I don't really know how long everyone goes over there now, but I think they go probably about a week before the fight. They finish their preparations in Japan, then go over there maybe a week or 5 days before, and then do a bit more weight cutting and final prep over there. But, you know, being able to train at your own gym up until 3 days before the fight and doing the same training as always is totally different from training in a hotel gym or on a hotel floor. I think that kind of thing can throw off your condition too. Yeah. Yeah, but if you go to a nearby gym and people start saying, let's spar, that can be tough too. Yeah, and it's hard to find the right time as well. It's really difficult to make those adjustments.
Based on your experience, Gomi-san, I don't know how it is now, but when Japanese fighters compete in the Ultimate Fighting Championship in America, the Americans usually cheer for the American fighters or the UFC side, right? Does that American crowd support have a big impact on your performance?
Yeah, that's right. I did feel a bit of fear. There were always thousands of people, and I was always the away fighter, you know, with thousands of people, and I couldn't really speak the language either. Honestly, I couldn't really understand what the referee was saying most of the time. I'm not trying to make excuses or anything, but when I fought someone like Nate, when I came out backstage first, you know, there were these huge guys all wearing hoodies, and to exaggerate a bit, there were like 30 people on their team all practicing together, and I was like, what kind of gang is this? Meanwhile, I only had about 3 people with me. Just the seconds I could afford to pay, people who took time off to come help me. So it was just 3 of them, and they had 30. I was like, what's going on here? It really felt like they were putting a lot of effort into it.
That team is pretty famous, though, the Diaz brothers. Yeah, that's right. I see. They do seem a bit like a gang. I get it. That family.
I see. Well, you know, everyone is probably training together and motivating each other as a team. But that kind of thing really does make you feel like you're on enemy territory, doesn't it? Did it definitely have an impact on you? Yeah, it's not like fighting at home in Japan. So I guess that's how foreign fighters feel when they come to Japan. When everyone is cheering for you and the atmosphere heats up, it's great. But if everyone is cheering for the other side, you kind of shrink back. Yeah, you really need to be able to shake that off. It'd be great if you have the energy for it, though. Yeah, that's right.
It's pretty tough, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. You really have to shake it off there. So I wish someone had helped me with muscle training back then, too.
What do you think about Horiguchi returning to the Ultimate Fighting Championship? How do you see his chances of becoming champion? Yes.
That's a mean question. After all, what he's done, no other Japanese fighter has done that, right? Living over there, yes. I think he's 1 or even 2 steps ahead of the other fighters because of that. Yeah, that's all I can really say. And then, well, there's also his age and things like that. The champion is the fellow pupil, right? Yes, that's right, it's Pantoja. So it's about how he overcomes those kinds of challenges.
Did you see the fight of Pantoja? What kind of impression do you have?
He's cool. I like how he doesn't waver. Yeah. And I like how he pulls the arm and just goes for it. That kind of thing might look plain, but in America, that's what a true fighter is. Yeah, he's really cool.
Yeah, he's strong. He's already reached the level of an undisputed champion. And it's the flyweight division, right? Japanese fighters are gathering there. There's Taira, Rei, Kaya Sakura, and Horiguchi. I really want one of those 4 to beat Pantoja and become champ themselves.
No. More than that, it's White House. It's been a while since I've thought about myself like this. Yeah. I want to make that my retirement match. If I could fight at the White House in front of the President Trump there, I'd feel satisfied and be done with it. That's how I feel recently.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Sorry, there's nothing I can do. Then the offer is over now. By the way, is there anyone you want to fight? Oh, that's a good question.
It's probably McGregor, right? McGregor, oh, interesting. And when I was fighting, McGregor wasn't ranked yet, I think. Yeah, Khabib was already in the rankings. I could have fought in the Japan event, but when I asked my student, he said he was strong on the ground, so I decided not to. Oh, Khabib, I see. Then it's been changed to Jake Shields or someone like that. No, not Jake Shields. Who was it? The jiu-jitsu guy. The guy who was winning consecutive games? Yeah, he already quit, but he had about 7 straight wins.
Yeah, I see. It's amazing that you got an offer from Khabib.
Yeah, well, this is a secret, though.
At the White House, then. Yeah, let's meet at the White House. You won't do it unless it's the White House?
Well, it's exciting, right? I'll have a match at the White House, then watch Otani's game with the Dodgers and go home, make plans right now. I see. Usually when we add extra stuff, things don't go well.
So you still want to fight a few more games, right?
I suddenly really want to do that. That's what I decided when I heard about the White House. It would probably turn into a pretty legendary tournament. Yeah. I want to make a comeback at the end somehow.
Oh, that's interesting. By the way, if you can't drink alcohol anymore, will you be okay with that?
It's alright, but I'll move up a weight class. 76, correct? I don't know how I feel about McGregor. He's quite large, isn't he?
Yeah, he's big. Around 76, I think. You should be in the same weight class. He's got huge shoulders. Yes, he got even a bit bigger during the off-season.
You kind of have to let go, right? I wonder how he turned out like that. You know, he used to be really skinny, right? He is 1 year younger, right? Yeah, well, originally...
He used to be a featherweight, right? He looked too skinny. And then he moved up to lightweight. Yeah. Cutting weight was brutal all the way down to featherweight. I was almost dying, completely dried out. Then he moved up to lightweight. Yeah, he was still pretty big for that class, but now he's bulked up even more. So, Gomi-san, if you don't mind me asking, how much do you weigh now? Around 80, a little over 80. Yeah. Do you care much about your weight?
No, that's fine. Yeah, I have to. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, eating and drinking.
Gomi-san, are you married? But that doesn't really matter.
I was just a little curious about marriage, you know, with Lara-chan. Lara-chan, I'll get this for you. I see. Why is that?
I see. Why? No, I was just a little curious about what kind of life you live. Marriage. Are you not really interested in marriage, or maybe you just weren't interested?
Let's talk about that next time over some awamori. That's not something you talk about when you're sober, right? Okay, got it. That too. Should I just say I'm looking? Looking for a girlfriend.
I'm turning 50, you know. But don't you think there could be encounters like that too? If you're going to look, then yeah, could you be more specific? I guess you want someone younger, but if they're too young, that's a bit tough. Being with someone too young is exhausting. Yeah, you really get it. Why is that? I think around 35 is probably the ideal age.
Well, why do you understand so well?
Yeah, 35 is nice.
So you're married, are you?
Marriage? No, that's not for me. Let's grab a drink instead. Honestly, I don't think I'll ever get married. So, looks or personality, which would you choose at this point?
If there's any advantage, Shin-san, you should hurry up too.
Yeah, people say that. I've been told that too, that it's better to do it early, that I shouldn't waste time. But if I rush and end up choosing the wrong person, it won't work out in the end, right?
If that's the case, then divorce becomes like a badge of honor too, doesn't it? If you go through life being too cautious, you'll miss the timing.
Timing is the most crucial factor. Ultimately, it's what truly counts.
But I think it's good to just give it a try. As for me, it's already... are you married?
My younger brother's married and has 2 kids.
Older brother. You're relying on that. He won't feel pressured until your younger brother says something. Yeah.
Sorry, I see. But in this day and age, is there really any benefit to getting married?
I say that a lot too. I feel like we might get along.
But in the end, there really isn't, right? If you're going to have kids, well, maybe it's a bit more convenient. But other than that, is there really any point in getting married?
For example, playing catch or wrestling. With your wife? No, I meant with kids.
Going to play in the river with my kids or going fishing?
I mean, if it was just me, I wouldn't do it. Unless it was really a hobby or something like that. I don't really consider this a failure, though. For people who aren't into martial arts, well, what else could they do? For me, martial arts is my job. Please cut here. For you, Shin-san, it's really about making it big on YouTube, and I think people naturally come to you.
Won't they come to you? I guess I'm living with my dog too.
I can really see that kind of future, you know? Really? By the way, how old are you now? I'm 33.
33, that's about right. Yeah, but once you hit 35 or go past 35, you start to not care about that stuff anymore.
After that, it's all about financial power or something like that. As time goes by, there are all sorts of factors and circumstances that come into play.
Let's take a little break. The conversation's gotten pretty off track.
No, actually, that topic is more interesting to me. It's totally fine. We can use it. We'll have to cut this part. What should we do?
I wonder if there's anything we can use. Is it okay?
No, actually, I think everything is pretty good, but I'll make sure to cut the parts that Gomi-san says to cut. So, for now, let's just say he's looking to meet someone. That kind of became the main topic, didn't it?
If you do too much of that, some weird ones will show up. There will be a lot. And maybe just one good person among them. We should probably stop. There are probably people who hold a grudge, right? Are you talking about you? Of course there are, right? Do you think so?
If you live long enough, things like that happen. Yeah.
I kind of want to dig deeper into that story.
No, it's better not to. Let's talk about martial arts.
I understand.
So Asakura, Mikuru, and Kleber are going to have a match, right? How do you see that?
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you can't just end things after a loss. Yeah, I think Asakura's motivation is probably higher. Yeah, but still, if you're going to take the fight, you have to be ready to face him. It's a wall that Japanese fighters have a hard time overcoming, both Satoshi and Kleber.
That's true. If we're talking about Kleber, Kanehara's the only one who's beaten him even once, right?
That's the only one, I think both Satoshi and Kleber have a 10-year handicap compared to Japanese fighters coming here and starting from scratch. In that sense, I really admire those two for still hanging in there.
Kleber lost to Shaidaloev by knockdown the other day. That was about 3 months ago. There's been talk about whether damage from that fight remains. Gomi-san, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. In places you can't see, probably for 2 or 3 weeks after the fight, maybe not a whole month, he probably didn't do any intense training. Or rather, he couldn't. Yeah, I think there is some damage that we can't see. So in the remaining 2 months, it's about how much he can get back to his original condition. I think that's what it comes down to. One time. Sorry.
There's a theory that once a fighter gets knocked down once, they start to become more vulnerable, and that weakness stays with them, right? Yeah, I've heard that. Do you believe in that theory?
Yeah, I think that's probably true. That's why they try to avoid it and goes in for a takedown right away. Yeah, I think that'll probably change their fighting style a bit. Yeah, I do think that's the case.
Gomi-san was really tough, aren't you? What do you think that was about? Was it that you were actually good at rolling with the punches? Or was it more of a technical thing? Or is that kind of toughness something you're just born with? What do you think?
Yeah, well, part of it was that I was young. But by the time I was in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, you know, with the open finger gloves, it was tough on the head, but also the bones here just couldn't take it anymore. When I got hit hard and feel the cark, I would react like, did it break? So now, even though I've been doing boxing matches lately, I can still manage pretty well. As long as I guard properly, I can calculate things to some extent, but with open finger gloves, it's really hard to predict. Sometimes the one who lands the punch first is stronger, but it's just too dangerous. Open finger gloves.
But if you're going to do it at the White House, it'll have to be with open finger gloves.
Yeah, maybe we can figure something out about that. A boxing match would be fine, or even mixed martial arts.
Well then, bringing the conversation back, there's a chance that Kleber might still be carrying some damage from before. Yeah, I think it was his first time losing by knockout, right? By Shaidoloev. Yeah, sometimes that kind of shock leaves a lingering effect.
How things will turn out, well, I think the quality of the punches is a bit different compared to Asakura. Yeah, Shadow throws really strong punches all of a sudden, like bang, while Asakura gradually closes the distance and lands his shots. I think that's a different approach. Yeah, I think the quality of the punches is quite different, I see.
What do you think about Mikuru Asakura's skill set as a fighter? His striking is pretty strong, right? But recently, in the fight against Chihiro Suzuki, he managed to keep top position and showed that he can win that way too. So, what do you think about Mikuru Asakura now? I think he's making adjustments so he won't lose to someone he's lost to before. He's probably trying to apply various things and do what he didn't do last time. He's aiming for the win. If it turns into a striking exchange, he'll fight it out. That's all I can really say.
So, which way do you think it will go, Kleber or Mikuru?
I keep being asked mean questions and I'm unsure. I really don't know.
So it wouldn't be strange for either one to win, right? Yeah, that's true. But if Kleber is going to win, he'll have to finish it with a submission or something.
Yeah, probably. He has the triangle, and he can go for a choke too. Right. I guess it depends on how long he can keep it, even in grappling exchanges. I see. Kleber can still trade strikes when he needs to. That's true. It's kind of strange to me. Even if you think you've hurt him, he just goes for the ground technique. Right. It's really hard to get a read on him, even if you think you've landed a good shot and he pulls guard. For them, that's just their usual position. Right. And that's where they start. So I think it'll be an interesting match. I talked like that to avoid answering.
He was really skilled. Are there any fighters who stand out in RIZIN overall? Like, are there any fighters you think are good, Gomi-san? Any fighters I like? Yes. Whether they're Japanese or foreign fighters. Well, you just said Satoshi Kleber is pretty impressive, though. Uzatsuyo Yoshia. Uzatsuyo Yoshia? Uzatsuyo Yoshia-san said he wanted to appear before the match and actually did. We've actually known each other for quite a while. Uzatsuyo Yoshia-san really stands out, and it's good to say that he stands out. If you talk about standing out, he definitely does. There's no one else like him, really, no one. Well then, is there anyone who stands out in Ultimate Fighting Championship?
The other day, there was that one in the light class.
The fighter, oh, do you mean Topuria?
The one who won by knockout.
Ah, he managed it, didn't he? Yes, yes, and after all, do you like striking fighters?
No, I mean, Kleber.
Or Satoshi. They're interesting to watch too.
And then there's Nakatani as well.
Gomi's fighting style, you know? Even in this era, you don't really see anyone like you. It's pretty rare, right? You take a lot of risks and step in aggressively. Your guard is actually pretty low, and that's a style you created by yourself? Or did it just turn out that way? I'm really interested in how that fighting style came to be, and what led to it.
Let me see. I have done all kinds of training. I wonder how it really was.
No, not getting hit. It's definitely best not to get hit, I think. Yeah, MMA is already way too busy. It's tough. When you really want to trade blows, the opponent would clinch with you.
Yeah, if he wants to clinch, he'll throw punches too. It's really an amazing sport, isn't it?
MMA can't practice much, according to what he said on Wakamatsu-san's technical department channel. It's difficult to do training because we really don't know what happened.
Yeah, so that's why we usually start from the ground. It's mostly basic training. We don't really do game-style drills or simulations. We don't really practice those much. Well, of course, if there's a match, we would practice. Usually, we only do basic training.
Did you come up with any strategies?
I once asked the people who are usually around me if I used to watch videos of my opponents. They told me, no, you just watched a little bit about 3 days before the match.
So that's about it. I was just really focused on my own training.
I guess that's what I was doing, but that's not good, you know. Once you know your opponent and start simulating, you stop practicing any harder than that. So, not really.
It was better when I didn't make any special plans. If you think, this type fights like this and prepare for that, your opponent usually does something different from before. You have to be ready for anything that comes your way.
We've talked for quite a while, so thank you for spending so much time with me.
This gym is open to regular members, and actually most of our members are regular people. Thank you, Gomi-san. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.